thankfully, these protests, what did you know, Charles, from the lovely Republic, continue across the whole of the UK. And before we jump into this, have you noticed that the royals have started not publishing details of where they're going to be beforehand? Obviously, massive events like this they can't get out of, but they love these secret little visits so protesters are unable to turn up. How times have changed, right? The royals, the non-working taxpayer-funded royals, used to be able to publish everything in advance to show just how hard-working they are. They can't do it anymore. They're terrified of this lot. This was yesterday in Edinburgh, the Order of the Thistle, the most outdated, pompous, ridiculous piece of theatre to exist in 2026. And I know tradition is important, history is important, but shipping in loads of royals at a huge cost to wear ridiculous robes to take part in an outdated ceremony is, in my opinion, outdated with the times, because the cost is horrific. In Scotland, there are a huge amount of people that live in poverty. And that's no diss to Scotland or the Scots, because I love both of those things. But when you look at a country that is desperate for social reform and has that volume of people living in poverty, I don't think spending several millions on this event is a smart thing to do.
Not my king! 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 Not my king!
This unit, you've got to watch out for them, because I'll tell you, come rain or shine, they're going to be there and they'll catch you outside and they don't care. Shout out to Republic, Not My King, always in the streets, we the streets, doing the Lord's work. Now, when I saw this, because this was today in Edinburgh, I thought to myself, I know why. We all know why. We all know why. But I know why the security thing now is the way it is, up in the air. Because now the other issue, because there's the real issue, then there's several other issues, then there's other issues. The other issue that this team here don't want the Californian team. And in fact, I challenge them. All of y'all go out together, like team green and team black. Let's put it that way. And I think what they don't want now is, because this is how they're being treated in the streets. They're being booed in the streets. Now they're scared that Team Black will be cheered. They'll have rose petals being thrown at them. This is why. Because every reception they are getting from the streets is dominated by Not My King and this unit here. So I see what's also going on here, what's at play, that they do, because they already know that they're totally eclipsed when they're here. But now with the last horse-drawn carriage ride, this team was there, front row seats, always with this team. And they told them. And today, they told them again. So now, the walkabouts are becoming a problem. I keep saying this. But anyway, so that was my observation. That now there's other things at play here, that they're getting booed, while the other ones, whether they go to Australia, Jordan, Nigeria, wherever they go, they're getting cheered. And even on home ground, if they were to come here, this is why they don't want them to come here. because they will totally upstage them. Because they're loved and they are not. Argue with yourself, because I know a lot of you will come in here with all your feelings. Why weren't you up there cheering for them then? Why were they being booed? And why were they booed last time? In a couple of weeks. Anyway, those are my thoughts, my views, and my opinions. I'm not asking you to agree with them. Can care less if you did or didn't. But I know what's going on here. That's what's going on. One team, Team Black, gets cheered. Team Green gets booed. Sorry, Alison.
Let's be real for a second. The palace has the entire UK press pack on speed dial, but the minute anyone asks a real question about Harry and his family's safety, suddenly the whole building goes mute. They won't say a single word out loud. Instead, they play these corny sneak attack games, dripping blind items to the tabloids to mess with everyone's heads. Check it. The Crown is getting straight up booed out of the room everywhere they show up now. You can't even hear the brass bands over the crowd shouting, "Not my king." And honestly, that is pure, unadulterated karma for how vile they've been to Harry and Meghan. Normal people are out here looking at their bank accounts, sweating over the electric bill, and watching the palace blow millions on gold coaches and fancy hats. Then William rolls up in a hard hat carrying a chair for a 5-second photo op like he's actually doing manual labour. Come on, bro, we see the hustle. It's a clown show dressed up as duty, and nobody is buying tickets anymore. They thought they could trash Harry and Meghan, kick them out, and still get a standing ovation from the block. But Harry and Meghan are out here living their best lives, doing actual work and thriving without the drama. Meanwhile, the palace is trapped in 2026 looking completely lost, terrified of a younger brother who doesn't even live on the same continent. It's embarrassing. Karma found their address, dropped off the receipt, and the Crown is officially broke. Look at the setup here. You've got Bulliam, a guy who is literally next in line for the biggest promotion in the country. He's got the keys to the castles, the state budget, and the whole establishment backing his play. Yet instead of just standing tall, he's allegedly playing petty back-alley telephone games to mess with his own brother's security. Like, really? That is pure high school behaviour in a tailored suit. Regular people look at this and just laugh, because we all know that co-worker who can't do their own job right, so they spend all day trying to sabotage the guy who actually leaves the office on time. It reeks of pure panic. If you're truly the big boss, you don't need to slip notes under the door to make your brother look bad, you just do the work. But Harry and Meghan are out here living rent-free in their heads while barely lifting a finger. Harry doesn't even have the royal badge anymore. He's across the ocean, and he's still completely running their daily schedule just by breathing. It's hilarious. You've got all the power in the world, but you're letting your younger brother control your whole mood from a different time zone. Talk about insecure. That's not a leader, that's just a hater with a crown. The vibe on the streets has completely shifted, and the palace is terrified. People used to just nod, wave the little flags and play along. Not anymore. Now everywhere these royals roll up, they are getting hit with a wall of sound, and it's definitely not cheers. People are shouting "Not my king" so loud it's shaking the palace windows. This isn't just a few mad people on a street corner either. It's regular folks who are totally fed up with being ignored. They looked at how the establishment treated Harry and Meghan, trying to run them off, briefing the press against them, freezing them out, and the public said, "Nah, we see you." It's hilarious because the palace thought they could just erase Harry and Meghan and everyone would stay loyal. Instead, Harry and Meghan are out here thriving across the pond, and the people back home are completely over the royal hype. You can't tell regular people to respect a crown when they see the folks wearing it acting completely messy behind the scenes. The streets are talking, the volume is turned all the way up, and nobody is hitting the mute button for them anymore. Let's talk about the actual maths here, because the maths is mathing in the worst way possible. You've got millions of regular folks out here sweating bullets every time the electric bill drops, skipping grocery items just to keep the heat on. And what is the palace doing? Blowing over £1 million on a single day of gold coaches, fancy hats and giant hats. Like, are you serious right now? Talk about completely losing the plot. It's wild because they really expected everyone to sit on their couches, eat cheap noodles and cheer for the billionaire parade. But the trust is completely cooked. Regular people look at that ridiculous price tag and think, hold up, I'm funding this circus while my own fridge is looking empty? And the absolute kicker? While they throw money at these empty pageants, they spent years trying to tear down Harry and Meghan, the only ones who actually wanted to show up, do real work and connect with everyday people without all the expensive snobbery. The public sees the hustle clear as day now. You can't keep asking the block to pay for your diamonds when the block can barely buy bread. The gig is officially up. Let's talk about the palace PR machine right now. Every time they get caught acting shady or freezing out Harry and Meghan, boom, right on cue, the tabloids are flooded with these ridiculous staged photos. Suddenly, we've got William rolling up to a building site, popping on a pristine hard hat and carrying a single chair up a staircase like he's doing hard labour. Come on, man, who are you fooling? You haven't broken a sweat a day in your life, but the UK press is acting like he just built the pyramids by hand. Regular people are completely exhausted by this clown show. We see right through the hustle. You can't use charity as a human shield to cover up your mess behind the scenes. It's deflection dressed up in high-vis gear, and it's honestly insulting to anyone who actually works an honest 8-hour shift. The most hilarious part, the British tabloid media will bend over backward to hype up these fake photo ops, screaming about royal duty, while totally ignoring the fact that Harry and Meghan are out here doing real, actual impact work without needing a camera crew to validate their existence. The palace and their media cheerleaders thought they could just print out a few nice front pages and make everyone forget the drama. But the block is smarter than that. We know the difference between a real worker and a guy just holding a prop for the cameras. Drop the act, the curtain already fell. The scoreboard does not lie, and right now the palace is losing bad. While the royals are trapped in their little war room, stressing out over headlines and playing media peekaboo, Harry and Meghan are out here absolutely glowing. They are thriving, doing real-world work and linking up with regular folks on a genuine level. No stuffy protocols, no fake smiles, just pure impact. Regular people look at this and see a total night and day difference. On one side, you've got the palace throwing these mega expensive, boring dress-up parties just to prove they still exist. On the other side, you've got Harry and Meghan making moves that actually help people without needing a gold carriage to get there. It's hilarious because the firm tried so hard to cancel them, but all they did was free them up to win. You can't fake real energy. Regular folks can spot a hollow PR stunt from a mile away, and they can also spot when someone actually cares. The palace is stuck on the hamster wheel of damage control, while the Sussexes are out here living rent-free in their heads and showing the world what real service looks like. The Crown is doing the most just to stay relevant, but Harry and Meghan are already there. Gigs up. The receipts are officially in, and the palace is down tremendously. The latest data just dropped, and public support for the monarchy has completely crashed to a 30-year low. We are talking about a total jaw-dropping nosedive. They spent all this time hiding in their war rooms, obsessed with leaking stories to the tabloids, and trying to win petty high school playground beefs against Harry and Meghan. Meanwhile, they completely missed the fire spreading in their own backyard. Regular people on the block are laughing because it proves what we already knew. The palace completely misread the room. Only a third of young people even want them around anymore. You can't spend years acting messy, icing out the only people who actually wanted to connect with the public on a real level, and then expect everyone to just keep waving little flags for you. Regular people have real bills to pay and real lives to live. They aren't trying to fund a soap opera wrapped in a flag anymore. The Crown spent so much time trying to burn down Harry and Meghan's house that they let their own popularity turn to ash. The numbers don't lie, the vibe is dead, and the palace is officially out of time. We are officially halfway through 2026 and the clock is ticking loud. The expiration date on these tired palace PR theatrics has officially passed. Regular people are completely exhausted. We are so done with the hollow photo ops, the fake smiles, and the desperate attempts to make a medieval setup look modern. It's 2026, stretching into 2027, and people are demanding real fundamental change, not just another coat of paint on the crumbling crown. If the monarchy thinks they can just slide through the next couple of years playing the same old games, they are completely delusional. The public support isn't just dipping, it's evaporating. Regular people look at their everyday lives, dealing with real struggles, real bills, real life, and then look at the palace spending millions just to manage their messy press image. It makes absolutely no sense. The contrast is jarring and nobody is buying the hype anymore. You can't keep running away from accountability by putting on a hard hat or waving from a balcony. That era is dead and buried. Karma has the palace zip code on lock and the final delivery is happening in real time. If this institution refuses to completely flip the script and actually account for their actions, their relevance is going straight to zero. The block has spoken, the room has been read, and the palace is officially out of chances. Turn off the smoke machine, the show is over. And that is the whole tea for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Big shout out to all my brand new viewers checking out the channel, and massive love to the day ones who always show up in the comments. You already know what time it is. It's time to pack up the pageantry, turn off the PR machine, and straight up abolish the monarchy. I'm your host, Miles. Smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and I'll catch you on the next one.